Girls of Reddit. What is something guys shouldn't feel insecure about? Story 1. I have had a lot of guy friends that are really insecure about pimples or acne. I'll tell them that everyone gets them and everyone is insecure about it, but their response is usually something like, girls have makeup to hide it. And so I taught a few of them how to subtly put on concealer so they could feel more confident. Story 2. Dick size and weight. I understand some people might think this is a lie, but I personally think so as a woman because size is not what determines how good sex is. Some may have a preference, but with 7 billion people in this world, I think preferences are diverse. Plus, there are sizes too. Many people forget that. As for weight, love your body. Confidence is attractive. It only should be put to concern if our health is affected by it. Also, this is my opinion. This isn't a lie because this is genuinely how I think. I know there are people out there who can agree, while others may not. Story 3. The flip side of the comments about not being able to grow a beard. Guys shouldn't feel insecure about being hairy. I love a hairy chest and don't find a hairy back or shoulders to be a problem. Like most things listed here, yeah, you'll find women who won't like it, but if they're willing to write you off for something physical that is out of your control, they probably aren't the person for you. I will say, regardless of anything else, hygiene is important. If you're hairy, you might sweat more depending on the climate and how warm you run, but if you shower regularly and keep everything clean, it's all good. This includes hairy butts, backs, legs, shoulders, etc. I think the only thing I might ask someone to trim would be crazy nose hair, though that could be disguised by a mustache. Story 4. I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard a lot of guys are insecure or care a lot about their hair. One of my guy friends once told me that he spends a good 15 minutes in the morning styling it, so it looks okay. Honestly, I don't really notice a guy's hair like a buzz cut, super long, or just some wild hair, unless it's drastically different from everyone else. Story 5. A good example is actually happening right now. I'm at a pool party. Two very nice overweight guys are in the pool, but they're both wearing t-shirts to cover their guts and just standing around. Then there's the third heaviest guy who easily has an extra 40 pounds than the other two guys. He's shirtless, having the time of his life, playing in the abandoned pool and cracking jokes. He's way more attractive to the girls because he isn't ashamed of his body and exudes confidence. Should all three lose weight? Sure, most of us should, but don't stop having fun because you're ashamed of yourself. Live your life and have fun. This is very attractive to all people. Just my opinion. I'm a middle-aged woman and I think I have a bit of wisdom about things like this. I've seen some shit. Story 6. Guys shouldn't feel insecure about stereotypical masculine standards. Do you want to do handicrafts like sew or crochet or scrapbook? Great, we can do it together. I suck at them though, so the farthest I'll probably get is watching YouTube tutorials with you. You can wear cute things and accessories like scarves and handbags. Hell, you can borrow mine. If you need some time to unload emotionally with a bubble bath or a one-on-one afternoon tea about whatever jerk you encountered X days ago, it doesn't mean you're weak or unreliable. It means you know how to handle your emotions in a controlled and healthy way. I once had a lady question my masculinity because I was playing the video game Peggle. Story 7. Don't feel insecure about the size of your penis. It really is about what you do with it. And honestly, guys with big penis are just painful most of the time. A lot of them also just fall back on the size of their penis as an excuse to be lazy as well. Don't be worried about your hair. Being too hairy, not having enough hair, etc. If someone isn't into you because your hair isn't Goldilocks just right, they aren't really worth the time to get into a relationship with. If she's complaining when she meets you that you don't have enough hair, have too much hair, or don't have hair in the places she wants, and have hair in the places she doesn't, what is she going to be like 10 years down the road? Don't worry about having a gym body. It is much better to just be healthy, and a lot of guys with massive muscles just aren't. As well, a lot of them just put stress on the women they're with to be as built as they are. Also, what appeals to the eye is not always the same as what appeals to the other senses. For that matter, what appeals to the eye isn't always huge muscles and little fat. That is just a part of the media pressure that is telling all women they should look like Kim Kardashian. Money. Just the same thing as the gym body, financial success is one element women may look at, but it is usually just one of very many. Back to the idea of hair. If she's just looking at your financial success, what is it going to be like in 10 years if you lose your job? If you wouldn't hold a woman to the same standard, don't feel you should live up to that for her. Your relationship should be about equality and actually sharing your life, even if you're just looking at the short term. That Saturday night is a chunk of your life. If you're not getting something from it, if you're just living up to her standards, it isn't worth your time. Being macho and acting strong all the time is not that important to most women. It's one of those pressures society puts on you. It's okay to say you're scared. It's okay to say you're depressed. It's okay not to fight someone just because they're trying to insult you in public. It's okay to just be a person. If you like video games and eating pizza on the weekend, it's not okay for someone to tell you that it's wrong. There are women out there that would be like, cool, hand me a slice and the second controller. You're not automatically in the wrong because a woman wants something different. Right. Story 8. Height. I know the popular presumption is that anyone under 6 foot is screwed, but if a girl considers a couple of inches to be a deal breaker, she's not worth your time anyway. I'm short, but lots of my tall and beautiful friends have dated men somewhat to quite a bit shorter than them. It's no big deal. To all the dudes snarking about how the above is not true, I promise ya, the kind of shitty attitude is way more unattractive than any physical characteristic. And if the only women you ever want truly all diss you for height, well, I'd look inwardly about your own tastes too. Story 9. Size. Honest to God, the best lover I've ever had wasn't hung. It was an average-sized dude, and by today's standards, or more so the trope influenced by is small. I'm not a fan of big dicks. If the guys know how to use it, sure, it feels great, but most of the time it doesn't feel great and I just end up in pain the following day and not in a good sense. Anyways, big dicks are the college diplomas of the world. Just because you have a college diploma does not mean you're going to be good at the job or intrinsically intelligent just because you have it. And to further prove my point, when you go about bragging about your diploma, you're gonna look like an incompetent idiot when you whip it out and demonstrate that you didn't learn a damn thing about how to utilize it in the real world, despite having the means to get it. Seriously, if you're a man who has a small dick, I need you to let go of any insecurity you have regarding your size if you do have that insecurity. The best thing that wows a woman is the ability to get in tune with her body and read her reactions. Small rant over, peace. Story 10. Don't feel insecure about liking girly things. Just order that fruity drink and watch that rom-com and sing in the shower. A lot fewer people care than you might realize. Story 11. They should stop feeling insecure about showing emotion, especially in a relationship. A lot of guys grew up being told that showing emotion was girly. But honestly, when a guy is open about how he's feeling and doesn't suppress it, it makes everyone feel more secure. And the girl feels like she's the only one who has real feelings in the relationship, then it's hard to trust the guy. And the guy often feels misunderstood, that he isn't conveying what he wants to. Guys, please know it's okay to be emotional. You deserve to be honest with the people around you, and it makes relationships so much better for everyone involved. Story 12. Don't feel insecure about saying no. I feel like men are always expected to fix the problem, be brave, suck it up, and quit whining. We're being told to not say no to because they're getting laid, so what's the problem? To the point where people still think it's funny when a guy is getting emotionally or physically abused. That it's the man's job to do all the hard, scary stuff. To be expected to say yes to every job, every anxiety-raising task, and not wanting things like personal space, social reprieve, praise, appreciation, to feel validated, or compassion. Forget resting and taking care of your own mental health. That ain't gonna build itself. Are you feeling sick and think you may need to go to the ER? Someone's got a man cold, boo-hoo. The giant hornet's nest in the porch? Just swat at them, grab them with your bare hands and run with them like a football, damn it. Are you hanging out with your friends and doing things you genuinely enjoy? Fuck you, asshole. You are now a loser who is never going to find love since it's against the laws to not be taking care of everyone, while you're breathing. Men need to be able to tell people to like, if they're uncomfortable with the way a girl is aggressively sexualizing them, be able to say that the demeaning shit you say to them was not at all okay. Not being shamed for not knowing how the fuck to assemble a Mustang manually like real men do. Then no, Jessica, I will not go and fist fight with the creeps who just chainsawed his way through the garage. I'll call the fucking cops. Plus, one of the best parts of relationships, whether platonic or romantic, is knowing that the other person is happy and comfortable. My dudes need to quit hiding the fact that something ain't Gucci here, and tell us, so we can stop doing that. Let people know your limits and boundaries. I love you dudes. You all deserve the best lives. Take care of yourselves and say fuck you to Jessica, the crazy bitch. Story 13. Size for sure. At least for me, sex is an intimate experience focusing on connecting souls while making yourself completely vulnerable and trusting your partner. Even in extreme cases, there are a ton of sex toys and tools to get each other off. I'm including micro in this. There are so many tools and methods out there that you can use, giddily and excitedly as partners to get each other off and shake things up. If a dude is dating a chick who breaks up with him due to his size, consider it as dodging a bullet. Considering the plethora of tools out there that can be used to satisfy each other, if she gives up on your relationship for something so shallow, what else will she give up on so easily? Her priorities are obviously not in the right order. You will find someone who cares for you, for who you are, and you can still get freaky. Story 14. I have so many answers for this, lol. All coming from my experience with my man. Super long, but super wholesome. Receding hairlines. I don't care. I'm sure the majority of the world doesn't either. He's so self-conscious about it, but honestly, it looks hot on him. He has it cut in that high and tight police style, ironic for his career choice. He gets so bent out of shape when it starts growing because of his hairline. I'm sorry, boo. You're still hot regardless. Hairy body parts. Again, that shit is hot as hell to me. He's probably the hairiest person I've ever been with, and I honestly love it. He doesn't have any on his chest, but his arms, legs, and everything else down below have hair, and I love that he embraces it. As long as you keep it clean, there are no issues to be found. It reminds me of a rugged mountain man or some shit. Also, I would be a hypocrite to judge someone about hair because I'm probably the hairiest female that he has ever been with, thanks a whole lot to genetics and female problems. So I say, rock on, fellas. Dick size. I cannot stress this enough. I don't know about everyone else, but for me, bigger does not mean better. It honestly hurts. I have a narrow and small vagina, so anything large just makes me want to slap the shit out of you. Lol. I think he's perfect with his size, despite his having hang-ups about it. As long as you know how to use it and can please me in other ways, I don't give a rat's ass. Playing video games. That's how he and I bond. We play GTA, Minecraft, Spyro, you name it. We've played it. I love watching him play, and I understand that it is his way of decompressing after a long day, and I won't penalize him for it. I'll just ask him to pass me the controller for multiplayer. Video games are fun. Just know your limits and don't let them consume your entire life. Weight. Big and tall, short and skinny, chunky and thick. I don't care. They have dated a wide spectrum of guys, all with different body shapes, from a more filled out man to a guy who worked out almost every day. He's tall, about 6'2" and not skinny, but not big either. Bubble butt. Can we say yum? Intoned forearms and shoulders. I appreciate his body, and I appreciate what it does for him. Again, I would be a hypocrite if I judged based on body type. I'm not exactly the skinniest person on earth. Imagine a pair that is filled out in the bottom a lot with nothing on top. But hey, we love each other and that's all that matters. Showing emotion. I love emotional men. Love them. Yes, boo, show me that you think that cat is adorable as f. Hype up my outfit and makeup. Cuddle all the puppies. Get angry with me as we watch Allie play Noah like a damn harp. Cry with me when I'm on my period and my world is crashing down. We don't want you to be this big masculine mountain that can never be moved. We want you to speak up when something is bothering you. We want you to show us you love us. Please don't let anyone or anything make you feel like emotions are the devil. Sorry for the long post, but as I sit here at work typing this out, it made me realize just how much I appreciate my boyfriend and everything he is and does for me. All the insecurities you have, my friends, are things that with the right person won't matter much. Someone who loves you will embrace them, love them, and help you work on them if that is what you wish. Fellas, you are loved and you are appreciated. Story 15. Loads of stuff. Dick size. Whether you know how to use it and understand that there's more to sex than just PIV, or penis and vagina, is way more important than the size. Losing your virginity. It's not a race, and it's not as a big deal as everyone makes out. Chances are your first time won't be that great, because no one really knows what they're doing their first time. But practice makes perfect. Their height. I know it seems that taller guys seem to get more women, but if a woman won't be involved with you because of your height, she's not the one for you. And it's better that you find out before you get involved with her than have your heart broken further down the line. Too skinny or too fat. My fella's 35, 6'4", and weighs 12 stone. He won't come swimming with me and my son because he's so self-conscious about how skinny he is. I don't see him as skinny. To me, he's slim but toned. Love the biceps and the V-dip. On the flip side, I've also been out with men who won't go swimming because of how big they are. For example, one was 6'7" and 30 stone. I'm 5'4" and a half, about 10.5 stone. He was self-conscious when we were out together because he constantly thought people were judging him for his size and thinking I could do better than him. I could and did, but had nothing to do with his size. Hair. On the head or anywhere else. Personally, I tend to be one extreme or the other. As a bloke, I either like long hair, a buzz cut, or skinhead or bald. Body hair I like on a man, especially chest hair when laying in bed, cuddling and relaxing. It gives me something to run my fingers through and play with. It's a comfort thing for me. Don't like blokes that shave or wax their chest or legs for vanity reasons, although I understand that some do it for sports, swimming, cycling, etc. If they're naturally not hairy, that's fine too. But I can tell the difference between waxed or shaved and naturally hairless. Facially, I like men with a bit of stubble or a beard. Don't like just a mustache on its own. Looks a bit like 70s porn star. My fella definitely looks best with a bit of stubble. He looks like a 12-year-old if he shaves. Blesses him. One of my exes just looks scruffy with stubble or a beard, but was really good looking when he shaved. On the flip side, on women, I don't like any body hair except for on the head and eyebrows. I even shave my arms. Oh, and I think that women should have long hair. I don't like women who have short hair. So on men, I think the ones who wax or shave for vanity reasons are a bit strange. But on women, I think it's icky if they don't remove all hair from the neck down. Total double standard, I know. But it's my preference and I would never shame anyone for any choice they make about their own body. Money. You don't need to make tons of it. And any woman that demands you make more than hers or pays for everything, that kind of stuff, is a gold digger and you're better off without them in your life. Accommodation. Don't be ashamed of where you live. Moved out at 16 and moved back in at 29, with my son in tow. Let my ex keep the house because I couldn't afford to rent it on my own and he still had somewhere to live and be able to have his children overnight, so it made the most sense. I have a great relationship with my mom, so I'm quite lucky. I'm 32 and still living with my mom. Been back here for 3 years now, we split all the bills down the middle, and I have a free built-in babysitter that I know I can trust on the extremely rare occasions I go out. As long as you have a roof over your head, don't be ashamed of your living situation. Unless it's a pigsty and can be solved by just doing housework, then you definitely should be ashamed, and should clean up. Who cares if you're still living with your parents when you get to your 30s or 40s? It's insanely expensive trying to rent by yourself. The only way it can be really done, unless you're earning a shitload of money, is either to move in with a partner or a housemate. Unless you and your parents don't get on, live with them for as long as possible, try to save as much as you can, and hopefully you'll be able to get enough money together for a mortgage. Mortgage payments tend to be lower than rent, at least in the UK. If you can't change it, don't worry about it. Live the best life you can, and as long as you're happy and not doing anything illegal, that's all that matters. We all have to die at some point, so make the most of the time you have, and don't sweat the small stuff. Story 16. Size. Doesn't matter that much if you are at least adequate at play. Not having a six-pack. Sure, we like them, but we have a very little expectation that you have them. One more. Every guy seems to freak out the first time the dick doesn't work. It really does happen to everyone. Whiskey dick is a thing, medications can do it, and if you freak out too much, it will actually make it worse. Also, too much can actually make it harder to perform. If it starts to happen too often, relax, hydrate, and stay away from for a week or two. If it bothers you or you aren't getting morning wood, check with your physician just to be sure. Also, it's not erectile dysfunction if you can't get hard 5 minutes after completion. You're just not 20 anymore. Story 17. Don't feel insecure about anything. Really get to know yourself, get to know your strengths and your weaknesses. It has helped boost my confidence 10 times over. I used to be insecure about my height, but now I look at it like this. I can't do anything about it, and I don't have to worry about hitting my head on things. I suck at sports, but I still play to have fun and hang out with my friends. I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but I know if I keep going to uni and working hard, it'll work out and I'll figure it out. If you ever feel like you don't have anybody in your corner, reach out to Reddit. There are tons of people here who will care about you and what you're doing. Just keep your head up and don't piss your pants in a dark bathroom at 2 in the morning.